How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, I'm going to review a very premium coffee grinder from Timemore called the Sculptor 78S. I've used this machine for about 6 whole weeks already and gone through about 2 bags of coffee. If you look over the reviews online, it'll say that this is a very good one. However, it is more tailored towards light roasts. Initially, I used this medium roast from Guatemala from Bicycle Coffee, and it has this weird effect of turning medium roast coffee to tasting more like a dark roast coffee. So I talked to the manufacturers asking them what the heck is going on. You're supposed to use light roast and floral forward type of coffee bean flavors. It tends to concentrate a certain flavor very well, and you can see this from the particle analysis. So then I went and tried this light roast coffee. This is from Verve Coffee Roaster, single origin, Ethiopia. It's supposed to have hints of Mayer lemon, yellow peach, black tea, bright and peachy. So floral-like, and surprisingly, it tastes way better. It concentrates the flavors very well. Honestly, I did not think that a coffee grinder can excel at light roast as compared to medium roast. It's such a sort of like a nuanced difference. I was told it also works for Kenyan beans, Colombian, Panama Geisha. So if you've been drinking a coffee where it's kind of florally, you can make it even more floral tasting with this coffee grinder. This is a very premium coffee grinder. MSRP is $800 for this. Taking a look at the first column, 078 means it's 78 millimeters diameter burrs. If you look one column lower, it's 64. The machine with the 64 millimeter is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit lower priced. And then you have the 078S, which means it's stepless. This is better for pour overs and espressos. Instead of having 36 steps, it's basically continuous, and for me, I can turn it in increments about half a step or so. So instead of 36 total steps, you're getting close to maybe 360 steps. And then the very last one, 78 SSP. It's stepless and it has a red speed titanium coating on it that makes the burr last longer. MSRP for that is $300 on top of this $800, so it's $1,100. The conclusion after drinking 3/4 of this bag, and I can't drink too much, I only drink 1 coffee a day, that's why it takes me so long, is that this machine sort of transforms your drink into something else that you cannot obtain with a typical coffee grinder. To explain this, they have done a particle analysis, and I've confirmed this with my own taste tests. The blue line is the 064, the yellow line is the 064S, which is the stepless, 078 is a stepped version, the one better for pour overs, and then 078S is the pour over and espresso, which is the one I'm reviewing now. It's not as peaky, although it's maybe 2 or 3% more concentrated in the center lobe. The C2 here is their own product, which is a hand grinder. It's not as peaky, so it's not as concentrated. This is more of like a taste preference. Do you want things to be very, very concentrated? Because sometimes you want things to be more balanced, let's say. Maybe you want more acidity and more bitterness, you know, just to balance things out. If you're into light roast and floral flavor type of coffee beans, then this coffee grinder would be for you. Sometimes a hand grinder may produce better results, but sometimes I just get sick of it because it just takes way too long, 5 to 10 minutes of just going like this. Let me go back and unbox this so you can see this machine close up. I've dialed it into about 3.25. Start the motor first before pouring in. sometimes even with the lid on here, the beans would jump out and you can see a little bit of debris over here. So having used this for many weeks, I think it will do well if they make some kind of attachment where it would surround this and sort of come up maybe 6 to 8 inches or so. Basically a steeper hopper. Pay attention to the grinds that drops down when I click this. Around 3 clicks and all the excess grinds comes out. Very little residual grinds that's left inside the grinder. This is almond milk, so it's okay to go under a little bit. We are dropping this temperature to around 230. Turn it off. Because this is a single boiler, I have to eject some water to lower the temperature for the brewing. I eject just enough so that it's gonna head towards 221 degrees Fahrenheit. Notice I have hot water here to preheat my cup. We'll start the brewing. Coming out at a slow rate at first, and it speeds up a little bit after that. We're at 6 grams at 12 seconds. This is looking really, really good. By the time this hits 25, it's gonna stop. It's at 28. A little bit over. I'm shooting for 32 grams. So it's a bit over 48. It's around 1:3 ratio, still very good. Usually I try to hit it right on the nail at 32 grams. Now I'll pour out this water. No one can stop me from adding sugar in my latte. And then I put this in here. This will allow the sugar to melt. Take out the thermometer, collapse the foam a little bit. Here's my attempt at latte art. That's as good as it gets. This coffee is a light roast, more floral, Mayer lemon, yellow peach, black tea flavor. Let's give this a try. The floral notes is very faint and you have to look for it. With this grinder, it kind of accentuates it a little bit more. However, it's still not overwhelming. It doesn't seem like you're drinking a lemonade. It's not like you're tasting some yellow peach cream or drinking black tea even. Mostly coffee flavor, and this tastes like a medium roast to me. One of the aspects I personally think about is when you have a dark roast, there's more acrylamides in it, it's not good for you. So if you go towards a lighter roast, and at the same time, if it can taste like medium roast, which is my preference, you can potentially be a little bit healthier with less acrylamides, possibly. I actually did not explore the speed setting. Apparently, if you grind it slower, it might also have a different flavor profile. That's the motor. I can't really pull it out or anything. Let's go from the front. There's an adjustment screw in here that will push this out very, very slowly. Pay close attention to the depth here as I turn the front. Starting from one end, if I turn it all the way, you can see it move a little bit. And this small amount of movement is pushing against the burr inside here. Notice this little pusher thing is keyed 1, 2, 3, 4 in an asymmetrical way, so it only fits one way. On the inside here, there's also one notch here and 1, 2, 3 notches. That fits this guy perfectly. Like that. There's also an O-ring over here to make things kind of like a little bit sticky as you move it. In order to get this out, notice there is a pin here and pin here. The only place that has 2 notches directly opposite is here and here. So we can push this in, rotate it to that correct spot, kind of like a puzzle. And these screws are holding this little handlebar. You can pull it out, and now you can pull the burr out. When this thing's running, it's turning this way to push all the beans towards the burrs. And yes, it does measure 78 millimeters in diameter. That's from one side to the other. At this point, I can run it without damaging it because the motor over here is the thing that's spinning. And I can change the speed. Turn it off. In there, there's a spring that tries to push these burrs away from each other. Notice the burrs are made out of stainless steel. The outer casing is made out of aluminum, and I'm not too sure what this feeder screw is made out of. It looks like it's aluminum because when I flip it to this side, after it's milled, it's shiny like it's aluminum. When I put it back in, I have to make sure the screw is inside this hole, and also the gears in the motor shaft lines up with the gears on this burr. So, yep, it just lines up. I push it in and lock it into place. Push it in really hard, that's probably 0 grind, and if I release it all the way, that's the maximum. We want to make sure there's no coffee grinds, making it not seat well, so that's good enough. Put it in there, and I'll put the screws back in and put it all back. If you guys are interested in this product, check out my affiliate link down in the video description below. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.